Ever since Warzone and Blitz split into two different brands, people have been wondering which show brings the better warriors, so much so that it was a foregone conclusion that these two titans of wrestling would eventually collide. And so it was at Posse Slam XII, War of the Worlds, as the Warzone Warriors and the Blitz Brigade faced off to determine the better brand. Would the red brand win the war, or would Blitz leave Warzone blue? Shady News has the answer for all of these questions and more, right after a word from our sponsors.
I'm doing the shit, mama. I'm doing the shit big. I just caught the new fire. A little over $250,000. He called me like 2-6. I eat with the 5 stars. That perk got a nigga high. Right now I'm a fly star. You can get popped with the 12 game.
You see this? This kind of budget only comes from liking and subscribing to this channel and tuning in at 8:30 Central Time every night except Sunday nights. Now, let's get this show on the road. So, to start our first match off, let's explain how these 4v4 tags work for both the men and women's divisions. To spice things up, Virgil Ventura had the teams composed of members of both Warzone and Blitz, so only by getting along with your rival show members could you get the win. Furthermore, whoever gets the pin or submission gets the point for their show, so even if a Blitz member does all of the work, the point could still go to a Warzone member if Warzone got that pin or submission. Good. So, for our women and them's 4v4 match, we saw Amani Stars and Witch Noah of Warzone, with Jess Ayaba and Tulips of Blitz up against Princess Rave and Nia Jax of Blitz, plus Rain and Lady Champ of Warzone. That's right, folks. Shady News' very own Lady Champ led the investigation to determine which brand could come out on top after this pay-per-view. And after pinning Amani for the 3 count, she determined that Warzone might just be better than Blitz after all, taking the red brand to a score of 1-0. Here at Shady News, we seek the truth at any and every cost, and we take our hats off to Lady Champ, a shining example of what that means. Now we move to a more straightforward tag match as Warzone's best rookies, Uncle Scuba and El Oso, challenged Blitz's other most prominent tag team, New Money, consisting of Logan Paul and Machine Gun Kelly, who had yet to lose a tag team match. With formidable opponents such as these, Scuba and El Oso would have to put their moxie to the test and develop chemistry on the fly. The fight was touch and go, but New Money made one fatal mistake. Like so many other wrestlers in Blitz, MGK attacked the referee mid-match, but this time the ref held a grudge, for when El Oso pinned MGK and MGK reached for a rope break, the referee seemed to outright ignore his hand on the rope and proceeded to make the 3 count anyway, giving Warzone a 2-0 lead over Blitz. Guess you can't attack just anybody. Things can get pretty cutthroat in the world of Problematic Posse Wrestling. Nate Tubis learned this the hard way when Tay Nubis, someone who he considered a friend, stripped him of the now Warzone Intercontinental title way back in the Season 2 finale. When Tay Nubis lost to the Mike is Right on Warzone's Halloween special, he sought to find comfort in his friend Nate Tubis, now in Blitz, only to find that Nate never quite forgave Tay for taking the belt in the first place. Annoyed with that response, Tay challenged Nate, proclaiming that after winning, the mask would come off and the real Nate would be revealed. And so we saw two wrestlers fight with the kind of back and forth you find in two opponents that knew each other very well, almost as if they were the same person. But in the end, Tay Nubis defeated Nate Tubis with an exposing soon to follow in a later episode of Blitz. Anyway, this would give Warzone a stunning 3-0 lead over Blitz. Now, whoa, don't click away from this video. I know a 3-0 lead sounds like Warzone is gonna run away with the victory in the War of the Worlds, but General Manager Jesse Bananas would beg to disagree. When I was able to interview him at Posse Slam XII, this was his feeling at the point of the show.
What do you say that Blitz is gonna need to do in order to overcome? Because having faith is one thing, but when you're actually in the ring against some Warzone and war veterans over there, what would you say for Blitz to like pull together and win some matches?
Honestly, a good majority of these superstars are singles competitors, so they don't know how to actually work as a team. So that's going to be Blitz's thing that they have to kind of work on. They don't really tag with too many people, or they have chemistry with a certain certain people that they have. So they have to kind of work on the fly, band together, and remember this isn't Blitz versus Blitz anymore. This is now Blitz versus Warzone, and they have to kind of bring in that Blitz mentality to their opponent. So that's what they'll need to do to be able to defeat Warzone.
So clearly Jesse Bananas still believed that there was an opportunity to raise the score for the Blitz side, and in this 4v4 tag match he would get this opportunity to boost morale for his brand alongside fellow Blitzman / Jack of all trades That Guy TB and Warzone members TK Uchiha and Cowboy Kent as they fought against Warzone's Mr. T and Jacob J and Blitz's Hollywood Dom and Pretty Boy JG. And folks, between Mr. T and That Guy TB's numerous saves and Jacob J staying in the ring for most of his side, this turned out to be a long match. But in the end, Jesse Bananas was a man of his word as he pinned Hollywood Dom to give his brand points on the board at a score of 1-3. Jesse also predicted that this match could very well be the turning point for Blitz. Let's see how well that works out for them. When Grant rebranded himself as the Groovy One in Season 2 with a following consisting of numerous fans, Mr. T and the Shady One preaching the groovy truth, we knew we were in for a new era. And in Season 3, when the Shady One took Grant's following away and started decrying the Groovy One as a false prophet to promote the shady truth, we knew that this conflict could only end one way: violence. But this wasn't just a war between two wrestlers with bad blood, but also two ideologies, as the validity of each wrestler's respective truth was on the line. And while the Groovy One showed glimmers of why he had a following in the first place, in the end, the truth, much like it is at this news station, was shady. And as the Shady One hit the button to put Grant away once and for all, Warzone went up 4-1 against Blitz. In order to win War of the Worlds, Blitz would need to win the next 4 matches in a row. And what better match to mount that kind of comeback than a Money in the Bank match, where the winner can make his own dreams come true. From Blitz we get Rashad the Wizard, Small Shmee Schmitty, and Young Clayton. And from Warzone we get K-Ridge, Steel Sean, and Tempest of TNT, who's looking to recover from a loss as Jesse Bananas bit off his finger to keep Tempest from winning the Tag Team Championship. Now, Steel Sean looked like the favorite as he was responsible for loosening the briefcase the most, but at the final moments of the match, Small Shmee Smitty stopped Sean from climbing the ladder, leaving Tempest to be the one to claim the Money in the Bank. Now, Between the Mic is Right exposing the weaknesses between TNT and TNT losing that Tag Team Championship match on the Halloween show of Warzone, Tempest's faction hasn't been doing so great with morale, so hopefully grabbing Money in the Bank can equal a championship for TNT to blow up their way to the top. With Tempest winning Money in the Bank, this puts Warzone at a decisive 5-1 victory against Blitz. But having the better wrestlers as a whole and having better champions are two different arguments, with Blitz now aiming to win the latter, with Crazy Cord, the Blitz United States champion, looking to give Blitz their second point by defeating Warzone's new Intercontinental champion, The Mic is Right, who took the title from Tay Nubis in the Warzone Halloween special. And while Cord showed exceptional feats of strength as usual, in the end The Mic was the winner after a really low blow, securing the win at any cost for Warzone. The WWE plans have often been met with vitriol in the Problematic Posse Wrestling universe for trying to establish their superiority on another wrestling company. When Ronda Rousey won the Blitz Women and Them's belt, her victory was met with shock. When Asuka won the Warzone Women and Them's title in a triple threat match against Witch No and Amani Stars, disdain filled the arena as WWE plans had a solid footing in PPW. These feelings carried over as Ronda Rousey and Asuka would represent Blitz and Warzone respectively during their championship match, but as the match went on, the audience could not deny the valor with which each wrestler fought, eventually ceding respect to the champions, though they were plants. Asuka was determined to secure the win via submission and cement her dominance, and found it through her patented Asuka lock, with Ronda tapping quickly after. With moves like that, it leaves little wonder if Asuka intends to make her stay as champion as long as possible. Now, just because Warzone's up 7-1 at this point, that does not mean that the show was over just yet, because now it's time for the big match where the best of Blitz fights the best of Warzone. The Hound of Hell versus the Looney Hare, a tale as old as time, finds its way into being told here at Posse Slam XII as Delonye West, the biggest dog of Cerberus and the Warzone World Champ, finds himself up against the Bunny, the winningest rookie of PPW, securing a 5-fight win streak in his debut that resulted in obtaining the Blitz World title. Both fighters were chomping at the bit to face each other, invading their rival show to make a statement, with both results ending terribly for the invader. But now here was the big match to settle the score. Delonye had previously disparaged the roster of Blitz for the Bunny's success, promising different results in his match, but as the Bunny refused to be choked out, the Warzone champion found himself in the position that many Blitz wrestlers had also found themselves in. One top rope finisher later, and the head of Cerberus found himself tamed by the Bunny, like many others in the Bunny's wake. And now, while it can be argued that the very best of Blitz can beat the very best of Warzone, at the end of the day, with a score of 7-2, the red came out on top over the blue. Much like my outfit. Now, Shady News may not know what's in store for Posse Slam 13, but we can absolutely promise yet another wild ride. I am the Shady Champ, and this has been Shady News, where the truth is often shady. See ya!